perfectly disparate and not holistic. I mentioned in the previous speech also, Madam Anuradha will rescue the girl. Now what will she do with the girl? A police station is not the place. She would rather go and give the welfare department. Welfare department, why can't you ahead and do it? It's your business. That's the right of the girl to be rehabilitated. The rights paradigm has not come into the welfare paradigm. Welfare paradigm should be removed and made a rights paradigm. That's it. Told the minister in the morning, she said, I'll do it, let's work in with the minister in the evening. We need to make a sort of rights framework for rehabilitation. When a girl is rescued, it should be the mandate and the duty of the welfare department, women's department, to ensure the girl is rehabilitated so that she is not being trafficked. This is what is to be built. Then poor capacity of law enforcement agencies to organize, to investigate organized crime, weak linkages to one break, etc. And lack of funds at the grassroots. Very important point. NGOs. I found 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, lot of money from various agencies. US government, thank you. US aid, thank you. And UN agencies, thank you. All of them got a lot of money. But then 2009 onwards, NGO ko paisa nahi mil raha hai. I'm speaking on behalf of the many NGOs sitting here. I don't know what happened. 2010 onwards, the money came down. 2011, paisa hi gayab ho gaya. No money now, except a few here and there. Why? And this is a time we need to invest money and consolidate the efforts. Much work has been done. Now it's all withering away. So I would request that money should be put in now by people who can do that and take it forward. Lack of coordination I mentioned about earlier. We need to have a national coordinating body. I was advocating the national coordinating body since 1998. Ministers have changed. All ministers have briefed, including Kiran Tirath, including Maneka Gandhi. Everybody said, Acha, both wonderful idea. We must take it forward. I wish they take it forward. And I think we'll keep the pressure on to ensure we have a national coordinating body. We have a national narcotics bureau to investigate the crimes of narcotics. Why not a national body on human trafficking? Because it's a transporter crime, it's an international crime. We need to have somebody to coordinate activities. Hey, we need to do that. More attention by all concerned. Political vacuum. I'm sorry to say, we are having good ministers here, but there's a political vacuum. I use the word vacuum. How many people are sensitized? How many people are aware of political leaders? And political leaders awareness is very important. Need comprehensive law to contain placement agencies. Comprehensive law. We have a copy of the Chhattisgarh law, thanks to Shaktivani and thanks to US government in our brochure. If you go to the Chhattisgarh law, I am as a practitioner on ground, I have brought observations on the law. We have to impose those on weaknesses in the law and bring out a law in Jharkhand. I think Ms. Anuradha Gupta, Mr. Pradhan, Ms. Meena are sitting here. We should work together. For you, your law, my friend Pradyumna, there are certain inherent weaknesses in the law in getting it implemented. Today, if a placement agency fellow has 9 crores assets, where will you go around for? Will you go to PMLA? Will you go to some other law for confiscating assets? When you make a special law, make it a comprehensive law, a holistic law, apply a mind 1 day more, 1 month more, make wider discussion. I wish it was discussed. Anyway, Jharkhand should make a comprehensive law. I would suggest that should be very important need. Technological association is missing. Technology is missing. Today, Supreme Court says, PDA says, all missing children affairs shall be registered. Thank you, Jai Hind. What will my co-assessor do? FIR registered. Karegi kya? What will she do? The child from Gaya, Sunita, taken to Pune, name changes as Salma, age is 16, name age changes 19, she is rescued. Now Gaya police को पता है कि सुनीता 16 का missing है. पुणे police को पता है कि Salma 19 rescued है. Where is the linkage? It cannot be done by human beings. Gaya inspector, जितना भी try करे, Pune inspector जितना भी करे, how can the poor inspector do? We need technology integration. हमने नहीं किया. So what Supreme Court should do is get that, because Supreme Court is running the country in many matters, in at least this regard. What they should do is get technology integrated into this. I am very happy Plan is doing something on the Nepal, Bangladesh border. That has been brought into a systematic, institutionalized, technological system. Then only we can handle this issue. This issue cannot be handled by human beings themselves. We need to have technology into the entire issue of anti-human trafficking and missing children. What we can do? Deliberate on strategies to address the challenges and roadmap here we can do. We can think of how to translate discussions, how to broad-base effort, how to ensure value for money, and we could also consider strengthening the AASP, helping developing law enforcement agencies, proactive involvement, mutual ombudsman. NGO can be watching on police, police can be watching on NGO. Capacity building, I want you to get together again. आपने काफी सारे police को training दिया, but that training has to be taken forward. Now people like Anuradha should be the resource person. She can come and say what the difficulties are there. I saw her at 10 o'clock night in Delhi with something about 200 documents on before her. कहते हैं आपको समझ नहीं पा रहा documents में क्या करना है. We sat for 2-3 hours at night, 2:30 till 2:30 in the morning, and developed 20 plans for investigation. I was very happy I could share her views and give us support thanks to Revigan. You know, that's what is required. When I spoke to the police officers here, they were quite excited. Chalo, unko bhejo, we'll move forward. And Mr. Pradhan is taking it forward. We need to help agencies in this way. PILs on crucial aspects are required. I don't say that governments are not functioning, but there is a need for PILs more. I think we need to consider, if any of you are willing here, I'll be happy to be associated, lending hand with you, getting a PIL here for ensuring that this confiscation assets of the PI of the traffickers are brought in through a particular legislation. Then setting up AHT club. मेरा suggestion है, आपके गांव में, आपके स्कूल में, आपके colleges में, you have colleges, you have a literary club, you have a tennis club, you have a swimming club, you have a yachting club, you have a debating club. Start an AHT club. In all your colleges and schools, start an AHT club. I would request my police officers to start to take on the lead, and then NGOs, all of you. AHT club, anti-human trafficking club. Every child, every teacher should know that that is part of their duty. As a citizen of the country, it is their duty. It is their duty to do that. They will start an AHT club in the schools and colleges, catch them young. Then the last point. Developing a draft law on placement agencies and draft state plan of action. I was happy to hear them that there is draft plan of action is there, but now the new government is taken over, they have a new idea to come in. So can we form a committee here, courtesy Anurag Gupta and his team, can we form a committee, subcommittee here and develop a plan of action and give to the government, chalo, you amend whatever you want, but here is a comprehensive plan of action and we can make a draft law. Why not? Goa has a Child Children's Act. Why don't have a Jharkhand act on this? One support. I will request all of you to consider this point. They need support. Technology integration. If any of you are technologically savvy, if any of you have technology based, if any of you are technology concerned, just in this area you can walk in. Walk into this area, get into this Jharkhand government. I tell you, Mr. Pradhan is a highly technical savvy. I know him. Therefore, it's an opportunity you can work with him and take this forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I have three tasks before me. To say I want to do it. That is one. To do some kind of a review of the whole session and to take some of the questions from our illustrious guests. So, regarding my own thing, I will be very, very brief. I will just raise 3 points for this house. The first is that traditionally we have always known trafficking as rescue, rehabilitation and prosecution. That means we rescue somebody, we rehabilitate that person, and then we try and prosecute whoever has done this wrong thing, right? But I feel that in the context of Jharkhand, especially when the labor component, in fact in this room, if you see, it's a room full of police officers, but there are very few people from the labor department, right? That means our entire focus of trafficking today continues to be only the penal part, the prosecution part, but not the rehabilitation part, not the labor part. So I feel that we need to shift our focus from rescue, rehabilitation, prosecution, maybe to registration, intervention and welfare. So I think that the first step, the most important step which we need to take as people from Jharkhand is registration of all those people who are moving out of the state. In fact, many times when I go to such conferences, people ask me, please tell me how many people from Jharkhand, how many girls from Jharkhand, how many children from Jharkhand are working in Delhi. I don't know. I can't tell you. So we don't know the extent of the problem. There are figures. If you ask some NGO, they will say 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 100 lakhs, I don't know. So I think that we need to create a system whereby every child, every woman, every person moving out of Jharkhand to do some kind of work anywhere in the country should be registered with some agency, and we need to have a database of that. That is number one. The second is intervention. Now, the intervention has to be graded. You cannot use a Bofors gun to kill a mosquito, right? You cannot do that. It might be a simple thing like a girl who has not been paid her salary for 6 months, or she has not been paid the salary she wanted to, or she has been promised, and she simply wants that money should be given to her. Now, as per the definition of trafficking, which has been inserted in the Indian Penal Code by the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2013, there is a very huge definition of trafficking, and it's a very amorphous kind of a definition because it uses the word exploitation. And I saw the section I would like to read. There is an explanation 1 connecting to section 370, which says, the expression exploitation shall include any act of physical exploitation or any form of sexual exploitation, slavery, or practices similar to slavery, servitude, or the forced removal of organs. Now, what do you make of this? It depends on the context. To me, as a police officer, it could be the case that if a woman has not been paid her salaries, I treat her as a case of exploitation, and I registered FIR under section 370 of the Indian Penal Code, for which the minimum punishment is 7 years. So I think that for each and every non-payment of the minimum wages, if I'm going to impose section 370 of the Indian Penal Code, then probably I'm doing what I just said, killing a mosquito with a Bofors gun. So our response as a system, it has to be graded. It has to be commensurate with the kind of offense. There must be scope for intervention. There must be scope for mediation. There must be scope for reconciliation also. I am not talking about those offences which are beyond reconciliation, which are zero tolerance. I am not talking about sexual abuse. I am not talking about slavery. But I am talking about those other categories of offences which does happen very often. That is one. So I feel that we need to clearly differentiate between legal and labor and sexual exploitation. And unfortunately, I feel that recently I was invited for a talk before the judges, some principal judges of Jharkhand. They wanted to have something on trafficking. And when I said that the major problem is labor and trafficking is labor, they all reacted very negatively. They think that trafficking means commercial sexual exploitation, period. It is not only commercial sexual exploitation. In fact, if you see the history of America, as I was telling the Consul General yesterday, it started not with sexual exploitation, it started with labor exploitation. The Africans or the African origin people were brought into US from Africa, not for sexual exploitation, but for labor exploitation. Because as one of the participants clearly pointed out, there is a business model to it, and labor is the best business model. So that is one thing which I would like to think. And in fact, as a run-up to this conference, I've written 2 articles in the HT. I hope you get a chance to go through that. And this is my take. This is my submission that the Chhattisgarh Act, I have gone through that Act, and I have also gone through that Act which has been, that order which has been given out by the Delhi government in pursuance of the Delhi High Court. I feel that again these acts have been focusing only on the legislative part, the penal part, and they talk about the rescue part. They don't talk about intervention. And I think somewhere along the line, probably these acts have been drafted by police officers. So we need to have a broad-based kind of system. Trafficking is not only police job. It has to be labor, it has to be police, it has to be welfare, it has to be NGO. So many people have to be involved. And each one of them has a very interesting point of view, like Tiffany was saying, that we talk about rights after the rescue. So, very interesting idea. It never occurred to me that a victim also has rights. We never think like that as police officers. But we need to think that the victim is not being given her due. That to that extent, her human rights as a victim also being violated. So, very interesting point of view. I think because the time is running short, I'll just end over here. And we need to summarize, or should we still go to questions? So I think we can ask the questions one by one. I would like the questions to be directed to individual speakers so that there is no... So the first set of questions, somebody would like to ask Tiffany Williams. Okay. So the house is open for questions. I would like... There are 2 fingers. So
My question is actually not addressing to Dr. B. M. Nair, but my request to Dr. B. M. Nair, when the Look-East policy is on the way to consider, and a series of consultation has been taken place to execute the Look-East policy, so is there any scope to endorse anti-human trafficking in the Look-East policy? I can speak louder.
Come up here, please come. Come quickly. Please come.
I'm Digamban Azari. I work in Pukrazar in Lower Assam. It's not a question, actually it's a request to Dr. B. M. Nair in the plan of action. Look-East policy is underway to consideration. Is there any scope anti-human trafficking to be part of the Look-East policy? Look-East policy. Yeah. Because if Look-East policy is going to be implemented, there will be amount of exploitation, amount of scope of ecotourism in that area. That's it.
I think the Look-East policy has largely focused on trade and economy. But I think it's not been out on the public domain so far. It's been discourse right now. But there is some space for public discourse and dialogue. But you know, we need to raise a concern on some platform. No one has really looked into the opportunities for us in the Look-East policy. But I think that there are plenty of data. If you look at a 12-5-year plan document, there is also a very huge focus on the Eastern region in terms of the issues of women and children. There is a specific chapter, Women and Child Agency, which is looking into the issues of sexual violence, children welfare, women welfare, and so forth. But that's a reference point. Now we have Niti Aayog, and the new committee has its board. We can really create some buzz and noise from some platform. And there's an opportunity of linking Look-East policy with human trafficking.
Any more questions, please? Yes.
Substantially, the point which you mentioned, clearly, we can recommend that as part of the findings of this conclave. Number one. Number two, mygovernment.in, if you are aware, many of us can copy in and suggest the government that here is a requirement of integrating this into the Look-East policy. I think government takes note of that. They take on public issues there, not individual issues. mygovernment.in goes to Prime Minister Modi himself straight away. I think many of us can get into that and make a recommendation there.
I am Benu Mayaguru from Nepal. My question actually is Mr. Nair. As the chair of the session is also mentioned, because this session is on the dimension of trafficking, so it's just query. Regarding the dimension of trafficking, which one you mentioned, and our chair is also mentioned about organ extraction, because I feel that one is in the left. And my point is, what is the other dimension of trafficking is rampant in India? Like for marriage, due to the sex selection, we are facing that in not only inter districts of India as well as China, the trafficking for marriage and cyber trafficking, tissue trafficking, and as well the trafficking for entertainment sector. Like we have so many ladies girls, we have cases traffic to Goa for massage parlor, dance bar, etc. So what is this dimension of trafficking in India?
Get your question, you said there are so many dimensions of trafficking in Nepal. What are the dimensions in India? Is it that question? Did I understand the question properly? Other dimensions. Okay. So when I mentioned about the new dimensions here, some are visible, some are invisible. I mentioned about the new dimensions here come up is trafficking for surrogacy, which people never knew. trafficking for militancy, which you are well aware, Nepal too, and trafficking for organ trade is very much there. Trafficking organ trade, we have even registered crimes and investigated prosecuted criminals also. Trafficking organ trade is also there. Trafficking for marriage is an old phenomenon, which is very much in prevalence, as you rightly said, Nepal too. So now we are aware of a few dimensions, and latest dimensions, hidden dimensions, we are not aware. But I would take a minute to add to this point. Tata Institute of Social Sciences, where I am working as a chairperson now, along with the National Human Rights Commission India, we are undertaking an all-India research on human trafficking now. 2 years project we just started with support from the UN agencies and government. This training, this research for 2 years will go on. Anybody who is interested in joining this research, partnering this research, financially or technically, are most welcome. Tata Institute of Social Sciences and NHRC doing an all-India survey. There we want to count numbers. Mr. Anurag Gupta mentioned about the numbers. We want to estimate the money generated, and we want to go into the new dimensions as my Nepal consideration. Thank you.
Yeah. One more question. Yeah. This is the last question, and after that, if somebody has a question, then maybe they can write it and they can take it up with the panel during lunch. Okay, please. Yes.
और हम लोग विगत कई सालों से ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग में काम कर रहे हैं और हम लोग 240 प्लेसमेंट एजेंसी का रिपोर्ट बना के हम लोग सीआईडी झारखंड को दिए थे और उसके बाद इसके लिए हम लोग PIL भी दर्ज किए थे और जितने भी आप लोग यहाँ पे नाम दिए पन्ना लाल, बाबा वामदेव, गायत्री, जितने भी ट्रैफिकर हैं उन लोगों का सूची हम लोगों ने सौंपा था, लेकिन दुख के साथ ये कहना पड़ रहा है कि जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने सूची सौंपा था उसकी सुरक्षा की क्या व्यवस्था है। वो लोग काफ़ी हम लोग को परेशान करते हैं, वो लोग को फ़ोन करते हैं, हम लोग को फ़ोन कर करके धमकी देते हैं क्योंकि हम लोगों ने उनका नाम सेलेक्ट करके उनमें कितने थानों में उनका FIR है वो भी हम लोगों ने दिया। ये हम लोग को बहुत ही खलता है।
आपका क्वेश्चन बहुत सही है, but this is not the panel for answering this question. The next panel will take up आपका जो सवाल है। अगले पैनल में ADG, CID and they will be coming the enforcement agency of the local police. They will answer your question better. इसके अलावा कोई एक क्वेश्चन और था? Somebody else? Yes, last question. One last question, anyone, please. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, please sit down. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you and apologies. I just wanted to ask a question. This is a follow-up question from what Dr. Nayak just commented about trying to get numbers on trafficking and trying to do a survey. So one of the dimensions that probably didn't come out very clearly from all the esteemed speakers was the issue of bonded labor, which, as has been noted in 2013 through the amendment, it has been explicitly stated that it should also be considered as a human trafficking offence. So one of the problems with bonded labor is that there is serious underreporting. So one of the, so while trafficking, we say media is intermittently interested in trafficking, bonded labor is further lower down in the sense of priorities. And we've also noted that the National Crime Records Bureau does not take into consideration offence of bonded labor as part of its reporting, which is of serious concern because we are all talking about a solution, but a solution comes when we actually accept that there is a serious problem, and underreporting is one of the problems for bonded labor.
Definitely, bonded labor is a major issue. National Crime Records Bureau में, if you see the special and local laws में, they club them together. I appreciate the point, it's a major issue. We can request them to make a separate chapter. 2009 we told them, make trafficking a separate chapter, they made a chapter. Now they have a separate chapter. Now within trafficking we can suggest them. I think they are amenable to suggestions. Make bonded labor a separate issue. For the benefit of those who did not have questions, that question was about the security of the NGOs working on this issue. And the answer was that in the next session, we are exclusively discussing on that topic, so that was the answer.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that discussion. I want to thank all the panelists. What I do want to do, and you can blame me, I'm not from India, and I completely missed it. I'm asking Sister Gemma to come up. We completely forgot to welcome our panelists. So now we're going to welcome them at the end, in a way to thank them. So if we can have Sister Gemma come up forward. Thank you very much, Sister Gemma. We are now going into our next panel. Okay, now we're going to go into our next panel. It is law enforcement and state responses to human trafficking. I'm going to ask our chair, Mr. Biju C. Matthew, to come to the podium. I mean, not the podium, but the dais. Now, Mr. S.N. Pradhan, ADG CID Jharkhand Police Initiatives, come forward. Mr. Manavendra Nath Mandal, ADSEC. Ms. Mridula Sinha, Special Secretary for MWCD and Social Welfare. Ms. Ranjana Kumari, member of the SCPCR Jharkhand. Mr. Girja Shankar Jaswal, IPS SP Jajpur. Shamishta Dash, Joint Secretary. And finally, Mr. A.T. Mishra, Managing Director of JARCRAFT. If you can all come forward and to the dais. I also ask now that we welcome our speakers. This time we get this.